All right, man. So I'm scratching my head on this, man. I'm
I don't know, man.
debating about it. But you know, I mean, it is what it is. So I don't even know how to say this dude's name. How you say his name?
Kale,
Chao?
Kale Sonnen.
Chael Sonnen. There you go. Chael Sonnen on the Flagrant 2 podcast made a bold accusation. He claimed
Big bowl.
that big bold, capital letters, underline,
Italicized.
italicized, red letters, bold.
Yellow highlights.
He claimed to know that the NBA's all-time leading scorer and current Los Angeles Laker, LeBron James, has or is using enhancing drugs, stating,
Sheesh.
"We have the same drug guy. I know exactly what he takes." Sticks, what's your thoughts on
Bruh.
this?
When I saw this headline, bro, whenever you sent this to me, I was like, bruh, ain't no way they trying to damage this man perception like this.
Mhm.
Like, so of course LeBron James at this point in time, he's my favorite player. And Michael Jordan is always gonna be my favorite player all time, but LeBron is my favorite player right now of this
Mhm.
generation. Best player of this generation, 100%, without a doubt.
Mhm.
And we all know that LeBron right now is in his 20th season, and he's still going strong, averaging 30 points a game. This man puts millions of dollars into his body every he publicly lets people know about his workout regimen, the things that he does to keep his body in shape for the next season, and he puts mad money into his body every single year in the off season. When I heard this, it's been so many things on social media about, well, it might be true. He started to lose his hair. Look at Barry Bonds. But it's like, I don't think he is. But whenever he broke down the performance enhancing drugs that he is saying that LeBron is supposedly taking, you start to think about it and like, okay, it kind of makes sense because it's not enhancing one of the drugs is called EPO. It's supposed to give you more red blood cells, make you have higher endurance through your performance when you're actually working out or when you're actually playing the game. And when you think about it, it's not something that's like a steroid, like Barry Bonds and Mark McGuire were said to be taking. It's something that is supposed to give you more endurance. And one thing that I do like that Kel said was, whenever you think about people, you think about use and abuse. If he's using it, then it's not bad because you get prescribed a certain amount that you can take. But if you are abusing it, going over your prescription, then that's when it's a problem. If LeBron is doing this, and I don't think he is, for the record, I don't think LeBron is doing this. It's all alleged, of course.
Mhm.
But if he is, LeBron has that mentality to where he doesn't have an abusive mentality. And if he is using it, he's using it along the lines that his doctor has prescribed him. But I'm gonna go on the record and say LeBron ain't using no PEDs, bro. Like, I don't think he is. What you think, Brian? What you think? What you think, Lo?
I appreciate you calling me Brian, but I'm a long way from Brian. Um, so
That's funny. You're right.
I we don't like to get into the sensationalism. We try to discuss only things
Mm-hmm.
that, for the most part, are fully developed and have a lot of facts behind it,
Facts.
and that can be validated rather than just putting out stuff so that we can get views, get people to follow us, or just beat the algorithm. That's not what we do.
That's not what we do.
But this story was so hard to stay away from, mainly because we love LeBron. Like, what I'm saying? Like you said,
Favorite player, yeah.
Jordan is always going to be up there. Kobe's always going to be up there. Those type
Mm-hmm.
of players, they're always going to be held up there. But for as far as greatest player of this generation, we rock with LeBron.
For sure.
And so if you regularly listen to our show, we probably mentioned Bron maybe 75% of the episodes.
For sure.
In
We
some
definitely do.
fashion, Bron has came up in at least 75% of our episodes. So the allegations that came out were, needless to say, concerning.
Yeah.
Um, why are they concerning? Because if true, and I'm going on record as well, I don't think they are true. It strips away all the credibility that he as a player has put into naturally working hard to get everything that he's received
Hmm.
from not only playing basketball but outside of the court as well, off the court as
For sure.
well. Um, it just taints it just taints his legacy
It does 100%.
completely. It just completely taints it. Like everybody always already try to put asterisks around the bubble championship. Everybody
Hmm.
tries to put asterisks around the championship where they beat the Spurs because the season was shortened and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Everybody just always trying to belittle LeBron's career like it's not amazing at the stuff that he's done. So it taints that. And then you have to deal with all the people that hate on LeBron already. So those three things is like, damn, this is really concerning. Because you want all of this to be just to go away. And to
100%.
you always want to see LeBron as how we see LeBron. Obviously, it's going to be a opposite side, opposite viewpoint of what we how we see him. And
Hmm.
we not D riding, but we just know greatness when we see it. So I have a hard time believing that this is true, just like you. I just I don't think LeBron and his team, his camp is that stupid to have his name or anybody directly affiliated with him going to a known drug guy, a known PED person to get him some drugs to enhance his whatever it is that he's trying to enhance. However, I'm not going to act like this is the first time I heard it. I did
Facts.
hear
This is
this.
not the
I
first
have
time I
heard
heard it
this.
either. Yeah.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
heard this before. And so it really peaked around the time, 2014, when he caught the cramps against the Spurs in the finals. And
Hmm.
then the next year when he joined Cleveland, he wasn't playing exactly right. He had lost a bunch of weight and he took 2 weeks away from the team and he came back in. So it's not the first time. But even then, when we heard it, it wasn't validated.
Right.
And the league is heavy on testing players when they, just testing players in general now. Like Damian Lillard the other night scored 71 points. Him and Donovan Mitchell, they get drug tested the next time. Or Danny Green caught a body off the rim. He got drug tested. So I mean,
Hmm.
we haven't heard about LeBron getting drug tested, but I'm sure he's been drug tested multiple times, and
Yeah.
none of these allegations have come out. So
See, the
definitely,
big thing about you go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My
no,
fault.
I just don't think it's true.
I don't think it's true either. But the biggest thing is that there is no the Congress won't pass. Well, the four major sports don't want invasive blood testing:
Mhm.
baseball, basketball, football, soccer. They won't let they won't allow there to be invasive blood testing because it's again too invasive. They want their players to be healthy. They don't want anything to go wrong. Blood testing is too invasive because it involves needles going in the veins. Things could happen, right?
Mhm.
So whenever they're drug testing these players, it's only your analysis testing, and a whole lot of these banned substances don't show up through urine.
Mhm.
So that's the biggest gap. And I don't, you know what I'm saying? And this is not, I'm not no way saying that LeBron is doing this because I don't believe that he is. It's still
Well,
all allegations.
before you get into that, well, if they don't do that, how were just the three individuals that I'm thinking of: Mark McGuire, Barry Bonds, and Lance Armstrong? How were they caught? Is it just
That's a good,
he say, she say?
that's a good question. I think that's a really good question. I'm gonna have to look into that because I didn't look into that as much as I was just thinking about LeBron. But
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken,
Well,
it
take
was
Lance Armstrong off then, because you said basketball, baseball, football, and soccer. So Barry
mhm,
Bonds, Mark McGuire, and Alex Rodriguez, I guess. How were they?
and yeah, all of them,
Yeah,
yeah.
countless baseball players.
Ho-
How
Ho-
were they
who
caught?
wrote a book about it, right?
Yeah, how were they caught if they aren't doing invasive blood tests, and they're only doing urine tests? But these individuals were known to be steroid users.
That's a really good. That's something I'm gonna have to research and see how they were actually caught. I mean,
Yeah,
look it up
not
right
to
now.
throw you off. My bad, man. I'm
No, you
sorry.
good. You good. You good. Are you good? But I don't know exactly how they were caught. I think if I'm gonna go on record and saying, I
It's
think it
just
was all he say, she say.
he say, she say. Yeah, and they probably just confessed to it. After it was
Facts.
publicly known, yeah.
Investigators searched the home of Anderson Bond's personal trainer. Investigators seized documents that showed Bonds was using banned drugs. So
Okay.
it was an open investigation. They had to find some semblance, some record, some public record for them to say, okay, yeah, these are the drugs that Bonds has been taking, and all of these
Yeah.
drugs are on the banned substance list. So they had to seize documents saying it wasn't any blood test that was done. Investigators seized documents to say, yeah, Barry Bonds was taking these banned substances. So
Okay.
that's how they found out. So but I don't think Congress will ever pass that bill, and I don't think any of the players' associations for these leagues will ever have that bill passed for
Yeah.
Congress to say yes, you can do invasive drug testing to make sure that these players are not performance enhancing. I think
Yeah.
that's ever going to happen. But what the problem is that they need to figure out some scientists out there, that ain't gonna be me, but some scientists out there needs to figure out a way that you can test for these things through urine, so that way
Mhm.
you can see if God, Lord, please don't say it's him. But you can see if LeBron is actually taking EPOs and testosterone and stuff like this. That what
Yeah.
Chael said that he was taking. He also called out Tiger Woods. Like Tiger
Yeah, he's
Woods,
just throwing
I was
straight bullets
like,
left and right, man. Like,
he Soldier Boy. Pow.
yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah.
but it's
But
like
the
I don't
thing
believe
was,
he is. But
yeah. Again, I think we both don't agree and believe that LeBron is actually doing it um because of what we think we know. I'll just say think we know. We think we know with how he treats his body. The information that's disclosed to us. Let's just say that, not say think we
yeah,
know. The information that's disclosed to us about how he treats his body in the off season, how hard he works.
mhm,
It would be hard to believe. The argument, the last thing I'll say, the argument that gets put out there is, well, how is he able to play this long, be this
true.
dominant still, not have the amount of injuries that he's seeming to have lately, but not have a lot of injuries throughout his career? Why nobody asked that about Tom Brady?
That's a fact because Tom Brady played 20 years too.
You know what I mean? So
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
it's it
And Tom
it's
Brady had a real good workout regimen in the off season as well. So why are you not saying this about him? That's a strong point, D'Lo. It's a strong point.
and I'm not trying to implicate Tom Brady
Yeah,
whatsoever.
nah,
Love
facts,
Tom
facts,
Brady
facts.
too, but Tom Brady plays a way more grueling sport, albeit he a quarterback, but he was able to play 20 plus years. And so if
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna ask these questions about LeBron, then you should be asking similar questions to anybody that played a long, lengthy amount of time and not having major injuries. Tom Brady had a couple injuries early on in his career, but later on,
Mm-hmm.
he was pretty healthy throughout. Changed his diet and all that. And same thing with LeBron has been doing. Changed all of his
Mm-hmm.
diet. He's constantly changing his diet, and then, like you said, putting $1 million into his body every year to make sure that he's in peak readiness to play
Mm-hmm.
the next season. So you're wrong for that, Kale, throwing them strays like that for some
Dead wrong.
sensationalism.
Sensation. Just out there,
Hopefully,
trying to go viral. That's what I feel like. It's a
yeah.
viral society these days, man. And you can say one thing and boom, you got 1 million views on your video, on your reel, or whatever you. And I think this all started. He was talking. I watched a little small segment from his actual podcast. He has a podcast as well,
Mhm,
and he said that this all stemmed from he was having a conversation with a buddy of his, somebody else who also has a podcast, and they were talking about Simone Biles and
mhm,
how people are saying that she's the greatest athlete of all time.
mhm,
And his buddy said that she's an amazing athlete, but he said LeBron is the greatest athlete of all time in his eyes. He was
mhm,
like, no knock on Simone Biles. She's the most amazing gymnast I've ever seen in my life. And she's doing some techniques that nobody's ever seen before in the history of gymnastics. But how can she be the greatest athlete of all time? She's an amazing athlete, but LeBron is the best one. And he was
mhm,
like taken aback, like, what? He was like, bro, basketball is which he was wrong for. He was like, basketball is easy to play. He said there's a saying that says if something is easy, everybody would be doing it. He said, why do you think everybody plays basketball? It's because it's so easy to do. But it's not easy to be a gymnast. He said you
mhm,
go anywhere in the state and you'll go to any park, any gym, any elementary school, middle school, high school, you're gonna find a basketball court. But can you name me 2 gymnastics studios?
Yeah, so that
He was just going off for some bullshit, but that's
so,
what all of this stemmed from. Is why he wanted to talk about him using PEDs.
right, not to go in depth with that, but
Right,
his argument for everybody playing basketball and gymnasts is out of context because the reason
whole
that you
out of
don't
context.
yeah, the reason you don't have a lot of gymnasts is because it's so damn expensive to be in gymnastics.
Yes,
I mean, what?
I was trying to put Sam in gymnastics when she was a kid. I said it called how much? So, baby, we're gonna go
Yeah.
play basketball. We're gonna go over
You know what I'm saying? It's a vacant basketball court, a ball and a hoop at your local recreation center. It's not a local recreation center that has a gymnastics arena. You know what I
definitely
mean?
is not.
So that's out of context, but whatever.
It's more out of popularity that you don't see many gymnast studios than
Right,
you see basketball courts because the basketball is a more popular sport. It ain't got nothing to do with it being easy to do because it's
right.
definitely not. Me and
It's
D'Lo
not
played
easy to.
basketball. It's not an easy sport to play.
Yeah,
So I mean, you know, you run and you throw a ball in a hoop. It sounds easy in theory, but when if you actually get to playing it and you actually get down to the fundamentals of the game, and it's not an easy sport to play.
not at
Period.
all, not at all.
But
But
that's where a lot of this context came from is they were talking about Simone Biles, and he thinks Simone Biles is the greatest athlete in the world, obviously. And he talking
yeah,
about LeBron can't be because basketball is the easy sport to play. That's crazy. And then he want to go off on a tangent the next week talking about him. Bruh,
I
Kale,
get
you
it.
wrong for that.
I get
Kale,
it.
you
You
wrong
know,
for that, man.
Joe Button said COE, content over everything. That's what we living
Content
in
over
right now.
everything. That's
Content
exactly
over
what
everything. So
it is what it
anyway,
is.
man. LeBron, we still rock with you, bro. Let's not
I'm
have
never
this
gonna
be
stop
true.
rocking with you, G.
Yeah, let's
This
not
shit
have this be true.
might not be able to rock no more. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you've gotten this far, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content. Also, you can find us on all your streaming platforms wherever you find your podcast.